So last year, I auditioned for America's Got Talent. Why are you laughing? Wrong timing, but I'll take it. What you doing? No, so I didn't make it. Thank you for understanding that part of the story. But here's what I learned. When you audition for a television show, there's this big, long form to fill up. One of the questions on that form was, what has been your biggest struggle in life? I'm thinking, what has my struggles got to do with my comedy? But I do understand it's a television show, so they want to play up the emotion factor and be like, oh, look at this poor kid from the third world on American television now. Vote for him, watch our show, we'll bring you more weirdos. Right? I get that part. But when I looked at that question, what has been my biggest struggle in life, I wanted to put none. None. When I look at all these struggles that my parents have been through, right? Both my parents, born and raised in the third world, spent their entire life in the third world, raised a family of 4, living in a 360 square feet apartment. My mom worked 2 jobs, my dad worked 2 jobs and put me through college, and then I came to America, where my biggest struggle is that I get depressed every time I post what I think is clever on Facebook and not enough people like it. Also, after I was done with my audition, the judge, one person in the room, asks me this question. She's like, you have an accent. Does that make it hard for you to do comedy in America? I'm like, well, first of all, over 1 billion people in this world think you have an accent. And second, doing comedy in America has become so much easier ever since I developed what I like to call Indian Tourette's, in which every few minutes, for absolutely no reason whatsoever, I yell out things like, "Slumdog Millionaire!" And then for absolutely no reason whatsoever, people laugh. And the show just moves along. Right, it's that easy. I also remember my first day in America, the very first day I'm talking to this person. 10 minutes into the conversation, this person says to me, "Oh, for someone coming from India, your English is pretty good." And I was like, you obviously don't realize that India has the world's largest English-speaking population. Right, look, there's about 1.2 billion Indians. Let's say half of them don't speak English. That's about 600 million Indians that speak English. The entire population of America is about 300 million. Let's say half of them don't speak English. And that's 150 million Americans that speak English. So for someone representing a quarter of India's English-speaking population, you aren't doing too bad yourself. Although I should admit, one of the things that annoys me now that I live here in America is listening to other Indians like me, born and raised in India, living in America now, trying to talk to me in an American accent. Because to me, it just looks like they're making faces at me. Right? Because look, we grew up in India speaking British English, so we say things like, why can't I ask for another chance? Right? A statement like that, coming from the mouth of an Indian like me, born and raised in India, living in America now, trying to talk to me in an American accent, sounds something like, why can't I for another change. It's like, dude, why are you making faces at me? What's wrong with you? You are Indian, I am Indian. Don't do that to me. Right? Talk that way to Americans, that's how they understand it. I get that part. Why are you talking to me that way? Right, look, here's my point. You don't need to look stupid just because you're speaking a stupid language. Some of you are laughing, some of you are not. And if you disagree, that's okay, because you are wrong. I'll tell you. Because look, I grew up in India. When you grow up in India, you just grow up multilingual. You just know a lot of languages, right? Like I grew up, I knew English, Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Punjabi, Hebrew, Java, C, HTML. Like we just know all of it, right? That's how we just grow up. So I know all these languages. None stupider than English. Right, because here's some question that have bothered me all my life. Like one simple question bothered me right from my childhood. Why is there an S in island but no H in sugar? See, every time I ask that question, some people laugh, some people stare at me. So far, no one has given me an answer. Or answer, if you understand it that way. Right, here's one more. How come we spell half with an F, graph with a PH, and laugh with a GH? Really? Who the fuck came up with that spelling? And by the way, that fuck is spelled GHUCK. So it's still a clean joke. See, that's how we win spelling bee. Okay.